In the back.
Well,
Oh.
my name's James. I tested 68, and I came all the way over from Germany to see you all. I love this place. And you were very timid in your remarks about litigation. You said at the beginning you did everything you could to avoid litigation, and everybody left. And I don't quite understand your timidity. One of the reasons that you mentioned for doing this was that it was a very costly matter. That's valid for both sides. If we introduce litigation, it gets very costly for the university side. And there are a number of reasons they should be afraid of us. There's been some very, very serious negligence, perhaps even criminal behavior on their side. The heavier our litigation is, I think the more we are have to get the reaction from their side. And one of your other arguments was it takes a long time. But then you followed with some excellent legal argumentation on our side. And one of them was that legal action is generally ended in a settlement. And if your strategic goal is to have a settlement, then you need to walk softly but carry a big stick. We have very, very valuable assets here at the university, and I think it's very naive to think that we're going to get our fair cut of these assets if we don't litigate. So I don't see Plan A and Plan B as two separate things. I think Plan B should flank Plan A. That's my
I think that Alan and I will have rather different takes on the question. The basic question is, why not go to litigation? Isn't litigation the way to ensure that we are successful in recovering the assets of Antioch College from the university? And I'd like to emphasize here that as your president of the Alumni Association, I sit on the Board of Trustees, and I have therefore absented myself from any activities involving litigation because I'm really not interested in being a defendant. And so I'm not going to talk about litigation strategy as such because I have not been involved in any of those discussions. However, I'd like to discourage the thinking in us versus them terms, and I know it's very, very hard to do given the tremendous amount of hurt and anguish of the past year, but at the same time, we are in a situation right now where once again we need to work together towards separation. And I think we can work together in a collaborative sense without necessarily being an us versus them approach, but recognizing that separation is, we've now agreed that irreconcilable differences have occurred and separation must occur. And I'll let Ellen respond to the litigation.
I think, we've had disagreements over the course of the year about when was the appropriate moment to pull the trigger on litigation. I might have pulled it a little while ago. But I do think, actually, our claims have gotten stronger over the course of the year. I know that the faculty's lawyer believes that their claim became much stronger after the AC3 presented its first plan, and its second plan, and its third plan, because those were viable alternatives on the table that the university had turned down. I have left it to people who know the trustees. I don't know any of them. They're sitting there. And they've made it very clear they have no interest in knowing me. So I've left it to others to make the judgment about whether honey or vinegar was going to produce more fruit. I gotta say, I do not, well, I've maintained my sanity by having given up a long time ago trying to figure out what they're thinking, because it doesn't make any sense to me. And I am told that there is a great deal of hurt feeling involved, and I'm going, what are these people? When did they not grow up? How could a deal of this consequence be turning on people's hurt feelings? I don't get it, but if Nancy thinks that there's a shot at getting an agreement, we'll hold off. Not for very long. This is not going to be a long process. We are not going come back to that, all that stuff. Okay, the last person in the back, and then you, and then you. And then I'll do my vision.
My question is for Nancy. I'm Jerry Bello, class of '97. You talked about that we're in, and I agree, one way or another, we're going to win. This is going to be ours, and we're going to do the right thing with it. And it's a question of how much money they're going to cost us to better fix the roofs. But we got here because we had a structural weakness. We were governed us in a self-perpetuating fashion. Now we're about to select new people to govern us again. And I'd like to hear a little bit about how we're going to structure this board in order that the stakeholder groups within our community have the power to safeguard our community directly.
Actually, Ellen has chaired the governance committee, so she's probably in a better position than I am to respond to the question, which was really, how is the new board of trustees of Antioch College going to be structured? I do agree with Jerry's statement that structure has been a huge part of the problem, and that's one reason why the resolution last year emphasized the importance of an independent board of trustees that have the power and authority to hire and fire a president and control over the campus of Antioch College.
Yeah, the governance, there's a governance committee that's been meeting. We met last summer and came up with a proposal that really addressed governance from the board down. But there is also a proposal that addresses precisely that issue, that establishes stakeholder groups. And the co-chairs of the governance committee are Sheila Richmond, who's a board member, and Travis Sanford, who is not. Travis has really taken the laboring oar on doing research about that. I think the governance group met at lunch, and I think there was a consensus that we will need an interim board structured in a more traditional way to get us through the transition. And then I think that conversation is going to be a very important, deep, wide conversation, and a lot of people are interested in having it.
Well, you said there were two proposals, essentially. Tell us about them, please.
No. No, don't have time. They're available. You know, you're welcome to join the governance committee. That's how Travis got on.